Howdy, guys. I love Tuesdays. It is time for stall talk. Man, these things just keep adding up. We are at episode number 27. And this week is going, instead of saying to ourselves, I need to help him, lead us in some possible, like what role play with this? What
Right.
can Jordan be thinking instead?
Well, so for example, so let me ask you this, Jordan, out of everything that Michael was reflecting and Kendra, what is something that they said that right now is kind of resonating in you out of curiosity?
I was really thinking about like the stability from my outside leg. That makes because like when my foot comes back like that, I can't I want him obviously keep his hip to the inside and underneath him and everything. And when my foot comes back and isn't on his side, I can't keep his hip underneath him to help him drive himself forward. And I want him to drive himself forward. So he can't, if his hip's not there, because I watch a lot of girls run a lot of horses at college rodeos that and it's nothing against them. It's just whatever, sometimes the way the barrel horse industry is that they don't have the wealth of knowledge that I've been lucky enough to that my dad and my family has allowed me to expose myself to. They just don't have that or whatever. And so one of the big things that I'm always telling them is if you're turning your horse too early and their hip is swinging out, that then they lose all that. And my horse isn't swinging his hip out because he's broke enough and I've trained him enough that he doesn't do the thing where they turn at their shoulder and swing their whole butt around. But if I don't have my leg there, it's still not underneath him to drive him forward.
Good. And Michael, when you were saying that, he needs the energy or the support of that foot. Some people, I've noticed here in the past decade, people are starting to kind of think oh, the outside of my horse is important, but they've thrown the baby out with the bathwater. So they're actually trying to put pressure on that outside, and things are happening too fast, especially on a horse like Goose. He's too strong, he's too fast, and if you overcompensate, if you try pressing or using it too much, that's not going to work either. So sometimes, Jordan, just having your legs in the right position, you don't have to squeeze one more than the other, but just having them in the right position, Michael, that helped me understand that's enough support for his energy to stabilize him and to keep him level and square. That was a new visual for me. So thank you for that, Michael.
Thank you.
And that's it. You just talked about the conversation. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to elaborate on what the point that you made with the Atlas and Axis, and what you said, Leanna, is spot on. You're compromising that so much. Well, I don't want to say this. You're compromising it, and it's going all the way down your spine, and it's locking your hips up, and coming out of the backside of that third barrel, your butt comes against that cantle and stalls them out too. Anytime that cantle hits your butt or your butt hits the cantle, you're losing forward impulsion just for a moment. And it's going to get him to where he's going to, arch his back, and the hindquarters are going to come behind and not be able to come and push forward.
Okay. Leanna, back to you. Instead of saying, I need to help my horse.
Yeah, you're going to be, the language is going to be a gentle shift in language, but it's going to help shape your experience. It's going to now be my legs and my feet are here to support you. You're going to be checking in now with that instead of that thought of, I gotta. You're going to breathe into your legs and your feet, and you're going to visualize, just like Kendra said, how she got that new visual. Our right brain only sees in terms of visuals and sound, right? In our senses. And so now you're going to be able, Jordan, to take that now with you. See, that's in you. And you're going to be now able to take that in there with Goose. And you're going to notice a shift in that responsivity between you and your horse.
Absolutely.
So good. I like that. Talk to your legs, see your legs. I was telling Lori, who was here over the weekend, my last little road yoga class that I did, we were doing these sun salutations. So it starts with down dog, and then you go into a plank, and then you're supposed to lower down. It doesn't matter how you do it. If you need to drop your knees, that's fine, but you're supposed to lower your whole body down to the floor very slowly. That's tricky for me to do because I lacked a lot of upper body strength until this one instructor said, just the other day, and I was like, whoa, it works. She said, I want you to think about your legs right now. See, I'm thinking I'm lowering down. So I had all of my emphasis on my arms and my upper body, trying to control that. She told me to use my legs, like strengthen your legs as you lower down. And I was like, whoa, that's so much easier. Now I can do it and I'm not struggling and I'm not collapsing and I don't have to lower my knees first, simply because she shifted my focus to my legs. And it didn't take a lot of effort, but just kind of working my muscles in my legs, I was shocked at how that changed my upper body. That's crazy. So Jordan, are you willing to try that?
Yeah, that makes I think because obviously I know that I don't want my chest down on his neck, where I kind of have it right now in that video, where I'm leaned up against him and lean down on him, because he does. I mean, I'm trying not to make excuses that he's big, strong, and fast, but he is, and whatever. And and it's getting better because my other the other saddles that I had before, when I'm riding in now, even more so let my legs get behind me or whatever. But I'm always thinking about trying to keep my chest up and keeping my chest up, and but around the barrels. And obviously that's not working because I'm still not doing it. So thinking about keeping my feet forward instead of my chest up, because my feet are forward, my chest can't be down.
You nailed it.
You
nailed it.
Smart.
Smart
Well
girl.
done.
Sharp cookie. Yeah. Everybody comment, light it up for Jordan. That's quick. That's real quick to connect the dots. So there's your huge breakthrough for the day. Freaking awesome. Oh, gosh, this is good. All right, Leanna, let's go back to Atlas. How do we know if our Atlas and our axis is locked up? Where is the Atlas and the axis on us?
So it's right there at the base of your neck. It connects your occiput, and it's C1 and C2. And really it's what allows cerebral spinal fluid to flow up and down your spine. You can do, and we can have you even do this in yoga, right? But you're going to want to check in with your spine and your Atlas and axis yourself before you get on a horse.
I never do that. Well, we're not taught these things, Leanna. So how do I do this? Teach me.
Yeah. So literally you're just feeling the warmth of your hands, and you're just going to feel, because the warmth of your hands automatically starts talking to the fascia that's surrounding your C1 and C2. And you're just going to kind of take a breath in, and you're going to automatically feel your range of movement here. And you're just going to go, down, take a breath in, check in, go back, and see how well that can just rotate around. And you might notice a different area that might be a little bit more stuck. When you do, don't push your neck further and be like, I'm gonna just stretch it. Take a deep breath. Let that body just hang out there until it decides it wants to unwind into a different way up there. And that unwinding pattern, just like I did that's how my body wanted to make it over to that side. It didn't want to be pushed to that side. It said, hold up, if you'll let me unwind the fascia by just briefly looking down and up, I can make it there. And then your range of movement begins to open up. We're not
Jordan, have you ever been taught these things, Jordan? Did anybody ever teach you this before you rode your horse?
No, it's just get on a horse most of the time.
Yeah. Everybody else, let me know. Is this brand new to you? Leanna has just brought something revolutionary to the horse industry. Maybe somebody somewhere in the teeny tiny corner of the horse world is already doing this, but I, for one, as a representative of the barrel racing community, can say that most of the people I know, I would bet money, we've never been taught these things. So thank you, Leanna.
Oh, it's an honor. I'm learning as much from you guys, every one of you, and Jordan today. I've learned so much from you.
How long do we need to spend doing this, and how soon before we climb in the saddle?
It's interesting because it's also our intention. It's that gentle checking in, and you're just honoring that check-in. And so you can do it anytime where you're like, now's the time, follow your intuition, follow your inclination. It's not a protocol, because we're teaching you also here to tune in, right? And go, I feel the need to do that now. Do that because there's a reason. Go ahead, Michael. Yes.
I'm just going to ask you though, what effect do you think this has in the occipital bone?
Oh, tremendous. Occipital bone, our ability, our vision to open up, right? Because we know when we get under stress, we get into ocular lock, we lose that peripheral, right? So yes. And our optic nerve goes, by the way, straight through our amygdala, our hippocampus, and it goes straight back into our brain. Our amygdala is our feeling and our emotions, and our amygdala, and then our hippocampus is our memories. So, when you can work with that occipital and opening that up, you have opened up your field of vision, especially with your breath.
This is crazy. This is so flipping cool.
May I?
Whoa,
Yeah.
hi, Mark, you made it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here. There's a really interesting therapy out there. It's called Atlas Prophylax. That's ATLAS, and Profi, PROFILAX, and it's .ch, not .com. It's in Switzerland, but there are Atlas Prophylax practitioners kicking around North America. They're rare, but they're available, and it's a really super interesting thing. When we are born, we often are born with a locked up, out of position atlas. And if you could visualize your skull as if it were a golf ball and it's sitting on a ring, that's the atlas. And it's supposed to be aligned over top of the opening between the skull and the spine. And when it's offset, it's as if you were misaligning. It's hard to illustrate here. Misaligning two round things that are supposed to fit over top of one another. But if it's shifted laterally, then you're blocking, and if it's rotated, you're also blocking. So you may find some people who are permanently off. They just don't, their nose doesn't necessarily go straight, it goes just off a little angle and more. And so anyway, there are these ligaments that are between your skull and your neck, and an Atlas Prophylax procedure loosens these so much, it feels like a jackhammer when they're doing it, but it's not quite as bad. But anyway, this procedure loosens these bands that are holding it locked. And when that's unlocked, all of a sudden, this whole thing settles over top of itself as it was meant to be, as opposed to where it is held today.
Wow.
Like, for example, myself, I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I spent probably $50,000 on chiropractic, going every 5-6 days to put myself back together because my C2 would never line up. Well, I had the Atlas Prophylax, and that was the last time I needed to see a chiropractor. Thank you, goodbye.
What?
Well, go figure.
And we never, we just don't think about these things. We don't think about, Michael started this session today with from your armpit to your hip. What? Who thinks about the space between their armpit and their hip when you're in the horse? No, we don't, because we get ahead of ourselves and we think about, there's 5,000 added today. I'm going to win it. Our Ricky Bobby comes out. If you ain't first, you're last. Look at that shiny belt buckle that your friend just won. Look at that new horse. Our brain's all over the place instead of understanding what is crimping the flow. And when we get into the root issues, guys, it is liberating. It's encouraging, it's exciting, and to think about the impact and the result we're now having with horses, and the opportunity that we have at Stall High, as a community of people who care to have these conversations. That is what blows my mind. Martin?
I'd like to throw in one thought, which is this. I think Jordan's riding in fear. And she's locked in the fight or flight fear sort of a thing as she's going. She's got the race mode on. She's just, oh my God, I'm going to die through this corner. And we need to try and help her put herself out of the sympathetic lock. And Leanna just said something really wonderful about this Atlas stuff, because when you loosen it, you actually are helping to come out of that.
Okay.
But the other thing is you can do several exercises that can help you just before you get on the horse, so you're not so freaked out from what's about to happen.
Okay, so
So when you're asking Jordan to put the gas on, that's like, I'm gonna die. No,
Yeah.
can't do it, right? She needs to unwind herself from being in that panic mode somehow. Three tools I have. One is diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe into your belly for a good 3 minutes to just really let go of your fears. Second thing is this lock that East Indian yogis have discovered, which is you take your tongue and you roll it up and make it touch the soft part of your palate. So you can feel your palate, you know where the edge of the hard palate ends and the soft is further back in your mouth. So you need to get the tip of your tongue rolled and pushed far enough, and you hold it there as you breathe.
Mhm.
It's a weird thing, but that's what sets the parasympathetic in action.
Okay, don't tell us what the third is. We're gonna leave a cliffhanger. That's gonna keep them coming back next week.
Sure.
So 3 tools. Lori, sounds like we've got a whole different clinic shaping up here. And guys, I want to talk a little bit about this weekend's clinic. If this has helped you today, speak up. Let us know. We want to hear the feedback. I want to know what you heard today that you've never heard before. What do you agree with? Do you disagree with anything? It's okay to let us know that too. Reach out to us, info@stallhigh.com. You can comment on these videos. The best way to reach us, though, is info@stallhigh.com. We have a clinic happening this weekend that you can participate in from wherever you're at because it is mobile. Okay, it is a digital clinic. It's called Moody Mare Makeover. It's not, this is what James Davison, our clinician, said. He was like, this ain't about the beauty. It's not about the exterior. We're not going to be clipping horses and, comparing different show sheen products. It is a mental makeover. And to change the horse's mental state, we're going to do that by correcting the mechanical errors. And James Davison is an expert equine behavior specialist. He has an amazing lifetime of experience. So I'm really excited for him to be here at the ranch this weekend. We will have a very small group of in-person riders with their mares. Everyone else can attend virtually. You can learn more at moodymaremakeover.com. This week, once again, every week I'm like, man, how can it get any better? How can we keep climbing higher and higher? And you guys just did it. Martin, you as well. Martin Patella, founder of Life Enthusiast. Thank you. Leanna, Michael. It's crazy. This is awesome. Jordan, let me hear from you. Has this helped you?
Yeah, it's given me a lot to think about and stuff. My dad and I are talking about, the only thing that I was gonna ask you about is, so obviously like we do a lot. I slow work the gray horse most of the time. Just like walk, trot him, lope, but like walk, trot him. I don't even lope him through the pattern ever really at home. But obviously like at the walk and the trot, I'm good about everything.
Yes.
My feet stay where they're supposed to be. My body stays where it's supposed to be. And when I get fast, that's when I kind of fall apart. And we were trying to figure out what we should, like, how to remedy that. And finally, why don't you just ask Kendra? Why would you ask me? I go, you're right.
Okay. So you're coming to class tonight at 6:00.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Leanna, Michael, I hope that you can make it at 6. If not, we will continue this discussion when Leanna and Michael can be there as well. Martin, you're welcome to join us at 6 p.m. I coach on Tuesdays in the online mentor program at Stall High. So I feel like this is something we definitely need to continue there tonight. And let's dig a little deeper into the techniques and getting you ready to make that. Now, you're handy. I know you, Jordan. I know you're handy. I know you're a horsewoman. I also understand how even as skilled as we are, right? Even with accomplishments and having ridden a lot of horses, it can still be scary sometimes. And you have a horse with a lot of speed. And when they take off like that, I think that is part of the challenge, is that we battle this inner voice that says, you're not going to be safe. There's no way he's going to make it. There's no way he can, this ground's not going to hold him. That's what I battle with. The ground's not going to hold us. There's no way the ground can hold us. And that's something that I internally have to overcome on a regular basis. So Martin, thank you for calling her out, even though Martin's being kind of tough on you. He's also calling your team of coaches together. Like, it's our job to help her. We need to equip this rider with the tools she needs to overcome that fear. And sometimes we're not even cognizant of the fear because we're thinking about the buckle, the 5,000 added, I got to help him. And you're not checking in with your body enough to where part of your body's going, oh, bit, holy bit, we're going fast. So do you agree that that's a true statement? Do you have some level of intimidation or fear going on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My dad tells me all the time that he thinks I'm not afraid of the horse in general. Like, he's the nicest bridle horse I've ever ridden. Like, when I was warming him up and whatever, I take him barrel races and I'll like be warming him and my bay horse up and like riding one of them and pony the one. My friend Anne, we were at a barrel race the week. She said, you have more control over both of those horses at one time than everyone else in this arena has over all of their horses, because they're both just so handy broke and like nice. He's the nicest bridle horse I've ever ridden. Like, just in my hand, like soft, feels like Chris going a hot pan, as you say, most days. But this, when it gets going fast, that's when I get like on him, because he's just so big and strong. My dad's been telling me I'm afraid of him for the past 2 years. Ever since I started like struggling with him hitting barrels, then that's when I like started, like, the more I struggled with him, the more I got scared of him going fast, because I was like, there's no way he's going this fast. I can't correct him. And I'm going to hit this barrel. And then it just kept getting worse and compounding. And I was kind of over that as much, but I have not gotten over it as much.
Well, I'm so glad you're part of Stall High. Like Michael said, it's an honor, and Leanna said it too, to be on this journey with you. Michael Richardson, Leanna Ray, Martin Patella, Lori Roth, Jordan Jen. It's been a great stall talk. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you want to be a part of what's happening, if you want to be a part of this, it's like a movement now. Like, it's a group of riders who are passionately seeking wisdom. We're not opposed to products and supplements when they work. But I've certainly gotten caught up in the whole rat race of the competition and the performance. It seemed like I was missing the obvious. So if this has your attention and we have your ears forward, download the Stall High app, look for online training. It may say virtual training. That's where you can find information about our online mentor program. We would love to meet you, learn more about your horse, and help you as much as we can. Thank you, everybody, for being part of Stall Talk. This was a great one.